gang, how you doing? Jonathan here for Tailhunter Sportfishing, and it's time once again for the Mexican Minute La Paz video fishing report, coming to you from La Paz, Baja, Mexico, and covering all of the fishing action for our Tailhunter Sportfishing fleet for the dates of the 18th through the 25th of April 2022. Wherever you are, hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for checking in. Really appreciate it. And also, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, and please don't forget to subscribe. Do us a big favor. Let's talk about what happened this past week. A little bit different. You know, I was sort of kind of saying things are warming up. I think the yellowtail bite's moving off. Well, I was wrong. Okay, I've told you I don't have a crystal ball. Things are changing. We are in the transitional time right now between the cool water and the warm water. There's stuff mixing up. There's species mixing up. And I had the impression that the yellowtail bite was moving off because the yellowtail and some of the other species are cooler water fish. The waters are getting warmer. So that means naturally that the yellowtail are moving off. The counts had been diminishing. Some of the warmer water fish like dorado and billfish were sort of making their presence known a lot more, so I had the impression that the yellowtail were moving off. Now, well, you know, look at the photos. We had some really nice yellowtail, and I'll talk to you about that in a minute, but let's talk about the weather. You know, over these last couple of months, you always hear me say that November to April is usually our off season because the weather is very, very erratic. A lot of strong winds can come up. It can be very unfishable. At times, the port captain closes everything down, doesn't even let boats get out. Well, with each passing week, the winds seem to be diminishing. Still some windy days, but overall things are getting better and better. As a matter of fact, let me pull out of this for just a minute. You can see how pretty it is out there right now. It is totally flat. Weather's been great. It's been like 89 to 91 degrees in the daytime. Nighttime temperatures a very comfortable 65, 67 degrees. It's a nice time to be down here. As far as fishing, you know, the winds aren't completely gone. We did have still some windy days have come in. It's going to diminish as we go week to week, but overall they're still sort of clinging. We had some windy mornings and then it would calm down. And then we had some very calm mornings and then it would get really windy towards the afternoon. We even had some, talk about erratic weather, we had some fog come in. The other day, I had some anglers out over at Las Arenas fishing out of Muertos Bay with our fleet over there, and it was foggy. It was foggy driving over there. It was foggy on the beach. Now, I've been here about 30 years, and I think I've seen fog, I don't know, maybe 4 times in all of my experience on the beach, on the water here. It was so foggy that they couldn't even see Soralvo Island across the channel. As a matter of fact, it was so foggy that the bait guys couldn't even go over there because they couldn't find the spots to throw their nets to get bait. So kind of a funky fishing day because our folks had to rely on jigs and lures and trolling in order to get any fish. There really was no live bait, again, because of the fog. When the fog lifted, it was cold, and cold enough to wear a jacket. And I'm talking about normally, like I said, temperatures right now, high 80s, low 90s. It was cold, and then the waves came up, and then the wind came up. So talk about an erratic day. That's just the way it's going to be right now as we're transitioning from the cooler parts of the season to the warmer parts of the season. So still some up and down weather to deal with. Overall, however, weather's not too bad. Like I say, temperatures in the low 90s, high 80s, and then nighttime temperatures in the cooler mid 60s. So talk about the yellowtail. Obviously, there's still some cooler water in, but it depends upon where you fish. If you fish with our Las Arenas fleet, the water's a little warmer down there. That's about 30 or 40 miles south of us, so the waters are starting to get warmer. Starting to see more dorado out there. Starting to get some signs of billfish. We're still seeing some inshore species like Sierra, Pargo, Cabria, mostly because the wind has affected that area more than the northern areas around La Paz. Around La Paz, the waters still seem to be on the cooler side, and I say that because of the species we're catching. Cooler water fish like Sierra, amberjack, and the yellowtail. Just when I thought the yellowtail were gone, boom, we hit some nice jags of yellowtail, 3-4 fish per boat, that nice 15 to 25, 30-pound class fish, pull you all over the place. They're eating live bait like the sardines. We also have the bigger baits like caballitos, a few mackerel around as well, and they're also eating the jigs. Some really nice fish came on board this past week. So it depends upon where you fish. Mostly yellowtail were targeted north of La Paz. If you fish with Las Arenas, like I said, most of it was inshore fishing, partially because of the weather and partially because, well, that's where the fish were this year, and we're going to go where the fish are. Why go where the fish aren't, right? Kind of makes sense. Okay, inshore, some nice big cabria, some of those nice big sea bass, you know, this size to about 5 or 10 pounds, good quality fish, Pargo, Cabria, a lot of Sierra still coming on, which is again indicative of cooler water. Bonita providing lots of action. We're seeing some Dorado around, a couple hookups. We're seeing some other Dorado that just aren't quite ready to go yet, and also some billfish popping up as well, which, you know, give it a couple more degrees of warmth in the water, and they're going to go off to the point where people are going, I wish the billfish would leave us alone. I don't want to catch a marlin. I don't want to be on light tackle and hook a sailfish and spend 2 hours on it. I want to catch some fish to bring home. So a couple more degrees of temperature rise, and I think the billfish and the Dorado are going to go off. The good news over at Las Arenas is the appearance of the roosterfish. Now, as you've heard me tell you before, roosterfish capital of the world is La Paz and Las Arenas. The roosterfish are starting to move in. A lot of roosterfish are coming along those shallow areas, close to the beaches, close to the rocks, 5, 10, 20 feet of water. Haven't seen any real big ones yet, but the ones that are coming in are respectable 10 to 30 pound fish, eating the live sardines. I'll tell you what, as soon as we get the larger baits, like the big the big ladyfish, or we start getting those mullet, those 6 to 8 inch mullet, I think the bigger 50, 60, 100 pound roosters are going to start coming in. So fingers crossed, we'll start seeing some of those bigger baits bringing in the bigger roosterfish. As far as I can tell, all the roosterfish are also getting released. So that's a quick wrap up on what's going on. Hope you're doing well. Oh, also wanted to tell you, flew down here about a week ago, and it was the first day of the mask mandates getting taken off from the airlines. It was nice to run around in an airport. We didn't have to wear the masks. No one looked at you with stink eye because you were trying to eat a sandwich and you had a mask off. And on the airplanes, I'll tell you what, it was joyous when they got on the speaker. The pilot did, as well as the flight attendants. And a lot of people didn't know about it, but they announced that it was the very first day of the mask mandate being removed. And a lot of people were clapping, fist pumps in the air, a lot of high fives. It was really nice. Now, there's some challenges going on to that. I don't know how long that's going to last, but for now, it was great to breathe easier. It was great to pretend not to be drinking or eating all the time so you could keep your mask off. It was nice to look around and see people with their masks actually off and not, halfway down the side of their face pretending that they had their masks on. So hopefully that's going to last forever and ever, and it was just nice to breathe easier. Anyway, quick wrap up. Thanks again for checking in. I'm Jonathan for the Mexican Minute. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe. You take care. We'll catch you next week on the Mexican Minute. God bless.